Hey, hey, hey. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Hope everybody's doing good and staying safe from all the craziness in the world right now. So what I decided to do tonight is mix it up a little bit. First of all, the reason I'm on tonight, I've started doing these on Sunday nights, but I'm not doing it this week because I have a wedding reception Sunday, this will be the second event that I've done since February. So I'm happy to be able to finally get some more work come in. But although it's still slow, I still got a lot of nothing for the next few months as of right now. So started doing these streams, and I'm kind of flip-flopping back and forth between. Tonight we're on YouTube. Last Sunday we were on Twitch, because my goal is on YouTube I have about 1,800 of you guys right now that subscribe. So I'm hoping you guys will start watching these videos to get my viewership up, so I can get my I think it's called partner with YouTube, because right now I don't have anything, so I'm not making any money off of YouTube. And I've had that YouTube for a while, and same thing with Twitch. I've also started a Patreon, and I've added a few perks, and I was just thinking today I may add another perk, a higher level for people who want me to teach, and I may do some actual teaching videos with these and upload them separate, or do private Zoom meetings or something. And I've also got the Zoom parties available if anybody wants to do one. But anyway, enough shameless plugging. Tonight, what I'm doing is, like I said, I'm doing some traditional caricatures, because this is one of the coolest things, and I miss being able to go to parties and do them. But real quick before I get started, because I know people are going to ask, I'm drawing on my regular. This is a heavy cardstock type paper. This is a little thinner than I usually work on. This is just a pack that I have that kind of is for practice and things like that. But I have this, and I'm drawing on. It might be 80 pound, might be 100 pound. It's not extremely thick, but it's not, it's not typing paper either. And this is a really smooth surface. So this paper is not really all that. It wouldn't be that good for doing any kind of color on, but for doing a quick black and white marker sketch is great. And I'm using the Ready Mark markers this is what I use when I draw live. These are a chisel tip. Man, it's a little bit of learning curve, and you can get a pretty good, decent, different type of lines with those. But still, sometimes if I need a really thin line, I have this pen that I use as well. And this pen's really cool. It's basically like a glorified Sharpie, but it does some nice lines. And what I like about this pen is I paid, I want to say around $7 or $8 for the entire pen. But the nice thing about it is when it goes dry, you just unscrew it. This is all, I guess you could refill them if you want to. It looks like you could take the cap off, but you can toss those, and refills are only like a couple dollars. So this is a good marker too. It doesn't have the give like our traditional 229 LFs used to have. And while I'm on the subject, I wanted to show you, I do have a marquette. I've never ordered a lot of these, honestly, because right now the last time I checked, the only place you could get these was out of Canada. And these are like our older markers that I used to use back in my Carowinds days. But the problem with these is cost. So this is the same company makes these. As a matter of fact, you can see the similarities. The only difference between these really is the printing and the nib, which is funny because I can order these pretty easy. These are hard to come by without ordering them from either another caricature artist or ordering them from Canada. So there again, for me, it's a cost thing. It's like I don't have to have a bullet tip that bad. I can get by with a chisel tip. But anyway, let's get into this. So what I'm doing for the pictures is there is a website called thispersondoesnotexist.com. And what it does, and I'll go ahead and turn that on so you guys can see what I'm talking about. What it does is it pulls images, all these images from the web, and a computer algorithm creates a face of a person who does not exist, which I think is pretty cool, because then you don't have to worry about anybody getting upset if you're using their likeness or anything. I'm going to go ahead and refresh this and show you what I'm talking about. So I'll refresh it and see, now this lady, although you would think she's a real person, she's not, but it says image by a generative adversarial network style, blah, blah, blah. Don't panic, this is how it works. This AI continues to dream. So anyway, basically, like I say, this pulls from a database of features, and it builds faces, and they look, you know, like a real person. I think my buddy said he's seen one on there to where, you know, there's part of the glasses were missing. But anyway, I'm going to start off with this one, just our face to draw, and kind of just show you how I draw when I draw live. I know you've probably watched me do this before, and a lot of people enjoy seeing this, just seeing the technique. But and for me, this is you know, kind of like a good bodybuilder. You got to keep your skills sharp. So I've been furloughed, not even furloughed, because I'm not being paid when I'm sitting here. You got to do stuff to stay active with your skill set. So there's the hair. And this is still not the same as having a live person sitting in front of you by any means, but it's something. And that's one of the top questions that I get on this channel, is people want to see more of this type of video. So there again, that's why I decided to do one of these. I'm trying not to do too many of them. I'll be honest with you, I can draw all day long for you guys, but nothing's going to replace you guys getting your own practice in. If you're somebody that's watching this that wants to learn. And I come in with some. You know, keep in mind, I've been doing this for, oh God, over 25 years. So that's one of the things I always hear when I'm at a party, is people are just so amazed how quickly I do this. But that's because I've been doing it a long time, and I've had a lot of practice drawing a lot of faces. And I do not go for the jugular a lot of times. With these parties, people appreciate a nice caricature that's not too goofy. Something fun, that's what most people want. Although I love the guys that do the really goofy ones. I've said that millions of times because it's so cool. And then some faces do lend themselves better to caricaturization than others as well. anyway, that's pretty much what I do right there. And I am going to take these a little bit further tonight. I'm going to add just to try to do a little shading on these with these markers. So I think it adds a little bit of depth. A lot of times when I do these at events, I'll do it just with a Prismacolor black stick. Sometimes I use these. And these are just called Winsor & Newton brush markers. They sell them in a pack at the, I think I bought these at Hobby Lobby. I usually reserve these more for what I consider more of a studio caricature, but for the sake of something quick to grab, I just go ahead and grab it. Alright, well that's pretty much done. You know, I don't spend a long time on these. I'm going to draw a line like this. So it's about 3 to 5 minutes is the average. Alright, we'll set that one aside and we will go ahead and do another one. Let's generate a new face. So I just refreshed this page. And we get, oh, that's cool. Let's see what. Get all these out. So I have some darker ones in here too. Actually, these go all the way to black. If you wanted to use one of these to draw with, you could. If you like brush markers, because I do, there is a black. I just personally don't like drawing with them. I think the tips are too, they give too much. I guess because I've gotten used to those other markers. But let's set those there out of the way. Alright, so, you know what? I'm going to cheat a little bit. I just drew a lady, so I want to draw a guy next. I'll refresh this again. And so you can tell that's computer generated, right? Well, you can't see my cursor, but you can see a little bit of hair. Let's see if we get something. There we go. Oh, okay. We'll draw this one. Now, let me grab that other ready mark. I think this marker might be going a little dry too, but I'll try it anyway, just to show you guys a little bit of the difference here. So for this guy, I'm going to start with his. Now you notice that last one I started with the hair. I'm going to start with his beard. And this one just to be different. I always try to start each face in a different spot so I don't get in a rut. Yes, I mean, there's not. I personally don't see a whole lot of difference between these markers and these. You know, the marker's a marker. Just, I mean, I hold it just at a different angle to get the thinner lines when I need to. So, trying to figure out what kind of hat that is he's wearing. That's an odd looking hat. And that ear's bent out. That's a pretty good size nose he's got on him too. I'm gonna switch to a little thin marker because that marker is. Some of these markers, I'll tell you those ready marks. Some of the markers, you'll be able to get a thinner line out of some of them than others. And also, it seems like when they start wearing out, like anybody who does this will know what I'm talking about. As they wear out, they get a little mushy. I don't care what marker it is, they all do that. hopefully this thing will generate a, I want to get some different ages too. I want to get maybe a kid. That's one of the things. So what I'm doing here tonight really isn't anything revolutionary that I don't do from time to time anyway. I just don't do it on the camera. That's one of the things that I've been doing ever since I've been doing this, is especially if I have some downtime between events where I don't have events for a while, I'll just grab some paper out and start looking up random faces on the internet and do these just to stay in practice. Or not even stay in practice, but just to continue to I guess it would be to keep your skills sharp is the best way to do it. But also to practice. So never get any better if you don't practice. We just got a new revamp to our uptown area here in Kannapolis, and we got a very cool new baseball stadium and a new streetscape and everything. And my wife and I went up there the other night, and we were talking about how cool it would be if I could come up here and set up and do caricatures, but without getting in trouble. I guess I need to get a permit or something, just on Friday night when nothing's going on. Throw some shading on this guy. Alright, let's see here. Look at these. That's not that marker. These markers. Okay, that's a 2. Here's a 1. That's what I wanted. That's what I meant to grab last time, was the really, really light one. And he's gonna have a little bit. There you go. That's what I wanted. Grab that 2. That's 3 and 4. There's the 2. Hit those eyes. 2. A couple of those dark. Hit that beard a little bit with it. Alright, and we'll call it done, because I'm not putting names on these because I don't know who these people are, because they don't exist. Alright, there's 2 of them. Alright, let's generate a new face. Let's see what we got. There we go. It's a cool looking kid there. So neat. Alright, the first thing I noticed about him is that little big, what I call when we were training to do these at Carowinds and at Cedar Point, home plate face. He's got a good one. He's got a little sharp chin. I can't tell a whole lot about his head and shoulders there, so I'll just do what I can. I think this thing makes up some of this stuff. So. Obviously, it's pulling from all these different images, so there's no telling whose shoulders that is. happy I'm getting a couple of you guys watching tonight. That's good. That's promising. I know a lot of people go back and watch these later as well, so that's fine as well. But I do have a chat over there if you guys want to say anything, and if you don't, that's fine as well. So let's get those eyes. It's all about the eyes, big eyes. I want to share this to Facebook in case people didn't catch me. Slightly cross-eyed, but not extremely. And I don't know if that's the algorithm or if this kid really has, he doesn't have round pupils. It might be this computer algorithm doing that. They're almost, they're square. All right. Throw a little shading in this, and that's my number one. For that hair, I'm going to go ahead and switch to about a 3. It's pretty dark. 4's good, yeah. think I've done enough to that one. I think I'm going to leave it alone before I overdo it. That's one of the things that's very important when I draw live like this, is not to overdo a sketch, to do just enough. So I think that came out pretty cool. Alrighty, we still got another half hour, so we're probably going to pop out about 3 more of these. Alright, so let's see. Let me get somebody with some color. Now he looks like he could be European. Keep on going here. So I can get a little diversity here. I don't want it to all be the same type of faces. There's a little girl. There we go. She looks kind of Middle Eastern. Oops. Okay, it might be a little bit. Probably could have went a little bit rounder with that face, but that's one of the questions people say. Do you ever mess up? I'm like, well, if that first line is right, pretty much anything else I can fix. But if you screw up the shape of the face, you might as well tear it up and start over. I got it. It's okay. It's a little bit stylized though, but I will say that's one of the hardest things to do, is when you've been doing it as long as I've been doing this. It's hard to get out of your own head and break your style, because you get so it's kind of a double-edged sword, because I remember back in the day, like, oh, I can't wait to develop a style and be, recognized for my stuff, the way I do caricatures. But at the same time, you get your style, you can get bogged down into it to where you're not growing anymore. So that's the I guess the double-edged sword of this, is like, well, you want to have a good, strong style, but at the same time, you don't want to stagnate as an artist, and you always want to try to grow and improve. And I've seen some artists who, it's like they hit a peak and then they start going downhill, and I don't want that to happen if I can help it. Like, I look back at some of my pictures from, God, probably 5 years ago, and there's some, obviously there's things that I've improved on in over the years, but there's some things I feel like I used to do a better job on, and it's like in some ways I've gotten too caught up into my style. And that's why I need to go back to the Caricature convention, because that is one place that you learn not to get stuck. Alrighty. She's a very beautiful young lady here. bit too heavy, so I'll do that with color. Fun fact, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this on video or not, but when I was in high school, all I did were portraits. So my background, before I started doing caricatures, my aspirations were to be a fine artist and be a portrait artist. But once I discovered caricatures and realized that this is what pays the bills and this is what people want, that's why I primarily have focused so much on caricatures as my primary income for the last over 25 years. It's been pretty much a full-time job up until recently, since we moved back to North Carolina from the Myrtle Beach. Right now it's went back to being a little bit more of a part-time, but I think I'm confident that's going to end and we're going to get back to some normalcy. I'm not going to get too much into that kind of stuff, I'll be honest with you guys, and I will say this, I try not to get too heavy into what's going on with the world of politics and things like that, and I purposely do that because I know I have a wide variety of people on my channel and a lot of people who watch me and a lot of friends who got different opinions, and honestly I don't want to cause any strife with anybody, so that's why you don't see a lot of that stuff from me, and you won't. I'm very careful about what I comment on, and you don't see me doing a lot of unsolicited political cartoons and stuff like that. I do some political cartoons, but they are it's from people who hire me to do those. That's the only time. And I get requests for that kind of stuff sometimes, and I politely say no. Most of the time, if I think it's just, super inflammatory and something that's going to be just hateful. 'Cause that's not what I'm about. I was very blessed to have a mother who taught me to always show kindness to people. Period. Explanation point. And I have a temper. Lord knows I have a temper. Anybody in my family knows it. But for the most part, I try to choose to walk into the light and not let it out unless I need to. Anyway, hope you guys are enjoying this tonight. This has been a lot of fun for me. This is like therapy. While everybody's talking to me. Oh, hello from Bangkok. What movie did you cry when you were young? I'm not sure what you mean there, buddy. Got a couple chats there. All right, so I cried with a lot of movies. I cried with Bambi. What kid didn't cry? Yeah, let's keep on going. Yeah, I think those reason the pupils aren't round on a lot of these faces because of the algorithm that's where it's creating these faces, because some of those just look downright creepy. All right, come on, Eric. She had pretty eyes. She don't exist. Oh, cool. Nah. Okay, next one. No. Little girl. I don't think I've done any little girls tonight. Drawn any little girls. So, let's do this one. She has a very, very round face. Squarish round. Hey Robert, thanks buddy. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, I've been on here for a while, and I'm just trying out some different things. Robert, where do you usually do your caricatures? Are you an amusement park artist or a party artist? I personally used to work for Commons here in Charlotte and at Cedar Point. And then I did it for about 10 years on my own in Myrtle Beach. And then kind of retired from the amusement park scene, and now I mainly just do events and do illustration. Oh, okay. That's cool. I appreciate you, man. Welding is an art form as well. I'm sure you're well aware of that. It takes a good steady hand to get a good weld. Yeah, I'm a lefty. Yeah. You lefty as well? Yep. I like that. I know you've probably seen that meme online where it says, "How much should I charge for my welding?" And it has, I don't know, $20 an hour or $100 an hour, and then one's real sloppy and then the other one's nice and neat. I thought that was cool. I got a lot of friends that do tattoos as well. You see the one where there's always somebody willing to do it cheaper. And it's got the picture of the unicorn. It looks like a 3-year-old drew it compared to the professional looking one. How long you been welding? Alright, not bad, not bad. Does it need to be brighter? You mean on me or on the picture? Oh, okay. I don't know what he's talking about. If he's talking about my face is too dark, or on the drawing I have to order some more stuff, but stuff's hard to come by right now. I need to order what's called a key light. I'm using a portable one there, but oh, okay, yeah. One of my first jobs when I was in high school, I worked at a grocery store called Winn-Dixie, which is no longer around here. But I never did work in the meat department, but I remember those guys in the meat work. That was like the job everybody wanted, was the meat department. 'Cause, yeah, you like being cold. And plus they made, this is back in the 90s, and I think, I was making $4 an hour. Back in the meat department, they made like $10, $12 an hour to cut meat. So those guys make killer money. But then I discovered this, and as they say, the rest is history. I really enjoy doing this. I always have. The two things I used to get in trouble for in school were running my mouth and drawing, and hey, I get paid for it now, so. Yeah, do you know what a meat cutter makes these days? I'm sure it's upward closer to $20 an hour now or more. Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. Alrighty. Sounds okay, I guess. Alright guys, we're coming up on about 10 till 9. I usually try to keep these right at an hour. So we're going to do one more, and then I'm going to get off of here and let you guys get back to your evening. I hope, again, quite a few of y'all on here now. That's very cool. Makes me excited. Oh, that's a pretty lady. That doesn't exist. Okay. Let's see if we can get another guy. There we go. There's an older guy. He's got some interesting teeth there. Yeah, not a bad looking feller. So if there's some of you guys that are joining this now, give you guys a real quick recap of what I've been doing here tonight. So I have a website open here on my other computer, and this is my other monitor, and what you're looking at is a screen capture down there on the lower left. And so what I'm doing is I'm just refreshing the page, and it pulls from a database of faces, and it creates a face of a person who does not exist. So, and the website is literally called thispersondoesnotexist.com. If you guys want to go check it out, it's pretty cool. One of my fellow caricaturists posted it, and I'm like, I'm going to do that. So instead of having to sit here and just look for faces, I can just sit here and hit refresh, and I don't have to worry about anyone getting upset of me using their likeness because it's a randomly generated face. So and these streams usually happen on Sundays, but tonight I'm streaming tonight because this Sunday I actually have, for the first time in 3 months, I have an event. I have to go do these at a wedding reception in the evening, so won't be able to stream Sunday, so we're doing it tonight instead. Last Sunday I was on Twitch TV, and I'll probably switch back to that again next time I stream. So I'll alternate back and forth. So I'm on here twice a month right now until I see how these are going to play out and how which one's going to grow the fastest. Because the YouTube channel I've had for quite a while now. I've done a few series on here. I've done the Caricaturist videos of all my buddies and stuff, and of me as well. And YouTube, if anybody's familiar with YouTube, they basically, it's hard to get what you call monetization on here, where it makes it where you actually make some money on it. So that's why you keep seeing these little pop-ups in my chat here for Patreon and stuff. I'm trying to get people on Patreon, and if people want to give donations and stuff. But anyway, that's not the main focus. But if you're on here and you want to give a little bit of money, great. If not, I just appreciate you guys watching. So I'm trying to get views as well. Oh, and that was the other thing. One of my videos I did before was basically a quick little how to draw caricatures video doing this type of sketching, and that video's had, I think it's over 60,000 views. It's a lot, so that's been my most popular video ever. So I'm like, okay, we'll do that. But for some of these other ones, like the one I did last Sunday, I drew a pencil sketch, kind of like the style of these ones I got here on the wall behind me, and some more of them will be that type where I'll do a pencil sketch of a celebrity or somebody, and then I'll probably go back and either off camera or record it like I did the one I just did of Nick Kroll, if you guys want to check out that video. So that was drawn live on the stream on Twitch last Sunday, which unfortunately didn't get saved because I didn't have the settings set up right, but the actual color part I did on the iPad digitally, and I did record my process. But I'll do that, and as people give me feedback and stuff and tell me what they want to see, I'll do more of that type of stuff too. Yeah, I'm familiar with Rouser. I've seen his videos. I don't know him personally, but and I've got some other friends that do some tutorial stuff that they do a pretty nice job too. I think I've linked to them before. There's a gentleman out in California named Court Jones who does a few. He does a nice job, and a gentleman from Texas named AJ Jensen, I think is his name. I like his stuff too. And then of course there's Tom Richmond, who works for Mad Magazine. We all know each other. Nolan Harris has a few pretty good videos on his channel as well. So if anybody's looking for those type of videos, feel free. I always encourage people to check out not just my videos, but check out these other guys as well, because they may every artist, you know, we're all a little different, so they may show you something that I missed, and vice versa. Because my learning to do caricatures came from a lot of different artists as well. You know, you learn the basics, but then you pick up different things. Yeah, my original training was Commons Art Shops at Carol Ann's in the Cedar Point. A gentleman named Dino Casterling, which was he was the trainer for the company at the time, was the main one who did the training. But then I also worked, the other one I attribute to a lot of training was a gentleman named Ben Vergraff, who did not really do a caricature at all. He did this really cool. Look him up if you get a chance. Ben, last name is Vergraff. And he did a very comic book style caricature. They were very, very, very detailed. So I like to think there's a little bit of his stuff in there. Although I tend to draw more like my original training. Robert, I certainly appreciate it, buddy. I really do. One of the other things we've been really blessed with here in North Carolina is we have a really good camaraderie with my fellow artists as well. Oh, I appreciate it. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, Cracked and Mad. I grew up on those, yep. And I actually know people who draw for them now. I don't think Cracked is still around. It may have went away. And Mad Magazine's had some issues as well. I think they've cut way back on production of it, unfortunately. But Ed Steckley is one of the guys who's one of the modern artists. He's done some stuff for Cracked. Alrighty. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you guys again for tuning in. You don't have any top chat. They did it only on internet now. Oh yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up. I appreciate you guys tuning in tonight, and y'all stay safe out there. And y'all catch me next time. My next stream is gonna be on the 14th, and that will be on my Twitch channel. And I will probably do another pencil caricature unless I hear otherwise a request from anybody. Anyway, you guys stay safe out there and be good to each other.